Welcome back to the Sunday Show, Mayor Adams.
Thank you very much. Good to be with you.
So, Mr. Mayor, the last time we talked, nearly 11,000 migrants had been sent to New York City from Texas. You've not been shy about talking about the strain the migrants have put on city services. Have you given any thought to sending the migrants back to Texas or any place outside of New York City?
No, I don't think that's appropriate, and it just really goes in contradiction to who we believe we are, not only as a country, but particularly as a city. This is a city that has right to shelter, and it's a safe haven city as well. We would love to coordinate with our partners throughout the state that feel as though they would like to share in these obligations that we have, but it's going to be done in a coordinated fashion. It is not going to be done in an underhanded way, as you have witnessed from the Florida governor and the governor of Texas.
What do you say? Sometimes we hear from Republicans, and certainly in Texas and Florida, that, well, why shouldn't sanctuary cities like New York, Washington, Chicago bear their quote unquote fair share of the burden when it comes to these migrants? What do you say to that argument?
Well, I believe that our legal and moral responsibility of being a right to shelter city is something that we live up to. But this is a sanctuary country. Let's be clear, even if it's not in the laws of each state, this is a country that has always allowed people to pursue the American dream. And if both those individuals will go into their lineage, they will realize that they came from somewhere as well. And they should think and reflect on that when they talk about treating individuals as we're treating them. But, you know, Jonathan, this is part of the overall attempt to move people away from what these governors have done around the women's right to choose, around gun laws, around some of the erosion of basic human rights that we're seeing. And this is a continuation of that. And I say to them that we can coordinate our way as Americans to deal with this crisis. This is a humanitarian crisis that was created by human hands.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because it segues nicely into the next question I was going to ask you, and that is, have you had any conversations, yourself, with Texas Governor Greg Abbott on either migrants or the immigration issue writ large?
When we first discovered that the Texas governor was actually orchestrating this political, showmanship, we reached out to the office and stated, let's coordinate this crisis together and figure out how to address this together. And he should coordinate with every city and state that the buses are passing through. They gave indications that they would, and they did not. They never coordinated. They continued to send the buses. Even last night, we got a minimum of 6 buses, and that was never done. And that is not how you handle crisis. You handle crisis through coordination.
You've been dealing with busloads of migrants coming to New York City for months now. I'm wondering your reaction when you heard the news that migrants were flown to Martha's Vineyard, and now we're finding out that there are indications that those migrants were lied to get them on those planes and sent to Martha's Vineyard.
And that's what we found out during our preliminary conversations with those migrants and asylum seekers that came to New York. We were told that they were given misinformation. Some of them were tagged as you're treating cattle. Some of them were dealing with COVID issues. Some tested positive for COVID, lack of food, dehydrated, no attention to the medical care. And many wanted to go to other destinations, and they were not allowed to do so. Instead, they were placed on a bus to New York and basically told to get out of Dodge in 24 to 48 hours. It's unacceptable. And so when I saw what happened to Martha's Vineyard and to the vice president's house, it clearly showed that this was not coming from Florida, where DeSantis was stating these were migrants that were in Florida. This was part of a political ploy. And that's what we need to understand. This is to cover up the erosion of human rights that both those governors have been participating in, and they attempted to really show other ways that they are eroding the human rights of individuals, even those new arrivals.